Welcome to Sonic Bros. Today I will go over the ultimate animatronic iceberg. Let's get into it. Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese refers to the family entertainment center starring these characters: Chuck E. Cheese, the mouse; Helen Henny, the bird; Mr. Munch, the monster; Jasper T. Giles, the dog; and Pasquale, the chef, the human. And this show has evolved throughout the years. This is the portrait stage. This is the one stage, and this is the free stage. This is the Studio C stage. And these were seen at the Chuck E. Cheese's entertainment centers across the country. And unfortunately, Chuck E. Cheese is starting to remove their animatronic characters for dance floors and TVs. The Rock of Fire Explosion, first seen at Showbiz Pizza Place Restaurant Entertainment Centers in 1980. They were built by Aaron Fechter of Creative Engineering. And the cast follows as Rolf de Wolf, Liam Wolf, Earl Schmerl the Puppet, Duke the Dog, Beach Bear, Fats Geronimo the Gorilla, Billy Bob the Bear, and Mitzi the Mouse, and a Looney Bird. And this was seen at Showbiz Pizza Places up until 1989 and 1990. When they switched to concept unification, where they turned them into the Chuck E. Cheese characters, and they're so beloved that they even had their own feature-length documentary in 2008. The Enchanted Tiki Room, known as the first ever animatronics to mimic something. These are singing birds attached to the ceiling that sing above the people. And this is the first ever animatronic show featuring characters, and they're tiki birds. It's a really cool show, and I've seen this in person along with Studio C and the Rock of Fire, and their amazing shows. Zoltar. Zoltar refers to a fortune machine built around the 90s. He is iconic and is he is made by multiple people. It depends on who. The Country Bear Jamboree. This is the first ever fully animated animatronic band built in 1971, featuring lots of country bear characters. Isn't that a lot of bears in one sitting? But this show shut down in 2024 and got replaced with the Country Bear Musical Jamboree, which they sang Disney songs, and this is the current version of the show. Uncle Clunk. Uncle Clunk refers to Showbiz Pizza Place's guest star. Uncle Clunk is a crazy fanatic uncle character who is known for being creepy and kids getting scared of him. He had 32 individual movements. He can pick up a banana, and Uncle Clunk could actually destroy stuff. He could, if you did not turn on the calibration tape when Uncle Clunk was on, they had Uncle Clunk would rip off everything on the stage apparently, which is really weird. Like the things on the desk, like the fruit bowl and the banana, which he actually holds in the show, and the telephone. And he even has his own sidekick, Murray D. Bird. Tex Critters Pizza Jamboree. This refers to an animatronic show built by AVG Technologies, starring Skeeter Snake, Country Cal, Tex Critter, and Foxy Roxy. And these characters were seen at Tex Critter's Pizza, and unfortunately it shut down in 1989. And around the early 2010s, Cavity Sam bought the characters and is currently in the process of restoring them. Bertha Bunyip. This refers to a Bunyip character, which is an Australian mythical character that's a Bunyip that apparently eats kids. And here he is. And he was seen at the Murray Bridge in Australia. And she is a pretty big character. And she also has a kid named Bert Bunyip Jr. The Mini Rock-afire. Basically a more smaller Rock-afire show used at more smaller showbiz pizza places. Also a cheaper option too. The Wolfpack 5. This is known as the predecessor to the Rock-afire. And fun fact about this show, it was seen at the first ever showbiz pizza place, and instead of Beach Bear, it was gonna be Billy Wilbur from the Hard Luck Bears. Which I'll talk about that later. And the characters were the Wolfman, named after Wolfman Jack, Fats Geronimo, named after Fats Domino, Dingo Star, named after Ringo Starr from the Beatles, Beach Bear, and Queenie the Fox, who in the showbiz version turned into Minnie the Mouse, not to be confused with Minnie Mouse. The Circus Playhouse Band was seen at Circus Playhouse restaurants, starring Jerry Giraffe, Starvin' Marvin, Batty Bird, Lionel the Friendly Lion, Charlie Choo Choo Chimp, Lola Leopard, Barney Bear, Texas S Tiger, and Ellie Elephant. Also CP, a robot that could deliver your food, which is honestly pretty cool. And this show is well beloved, but it shut down around 1984 or 1985, and is currently being restored by Cavity Sam, who also restored the Tex Critter show. And these guys are also built by AVG. The Kitchen Cabaret. The Kitchen Cabaret is built by Disney, and was seen at Disney's Epcot Center, starring a multitude of food characters. And the main character, Bonnie Appetite, the human, has unhealthy eating, and the fruits and dairy foods convince her to eat healthy, and the unhealthy foods don't want her to eat healthy and convince her to eat unhealthy food. A pretty odd show. And then it got changed to the Food Rock show, starring multiple parody characters such as the Peach Boys and other characters. The Hard Luck Bears. The Hard Luck Bears refers to a Country Bear Jamboree knockoff built by Creative Engineering, starring Billy Bill on the piano, Billy Wilbur on the guitar, Billy Boy on drums, and Billy Bob on bass guitar. Also, Pete and repeat, Mama Grandbags and Goonie Bird. This show was well received and was even seen in Chile and Italy, which is honestly really crazy. Gadgets, Looney Tunes Review. This refers to an animatronic show built in 1982 by advanced animations starring Daffy Duck, Speedy Gonzales, Porky Pig, Sylvester and Sylvester Jr., Tweety Bird, Pepe Le Pew, Bugs Bunny, Yosemite Sam, Foghorn Leghorn, and the Tasmanian Devil. And this was seen at a Looney Tunes themed restaurant built by Warner Communications, who just bought out Chuck E. Cheese at the time. And there was also a mini stage as the first ever one, starring Bugs Bunny on the piano, Daffy and Porky on the guitar. The Hank and Bo Show. This refers to Hank the dog on the guitar and Bo the dog on the banjo. And this was built by Sally Dark Rides, who makes tons of shows. Daniel and the Dixie Diggers. Daniel and the Dixie Diggers refers to an animatronic show built by the Sally Corporation, starring Scratchmo, based off of Louis Armstrong, Sir Percival Perry on a clarinet, Daniel T. Bones on the piano, Colonel Buford T. Beauregard on the drums, and Huck L. Berry on the banjo. And this was seen in a multitude of locations, and they even have a show in Canada and Japan. And then the Mickey Mouse Musical Review. This is built by Disney in 1971, starring Disney characters from a multitude of movies and shows. And fun fact, the show is called the Mickey Mouse Musical Review at first. Then they changed it to the Mickey Mouse Review, and Minnie Mouse's outfit was seen as a walk around costume too, which is pretty cool. The Moon Rockers, built by Creative Engineering, starring Admiral Orc on the keyboard, Quasar on guitar, Princess Haley on the vocals, and Ozone on drums, all named after space, except for Haley, which she's not. They still exist to this day. Bullwinkle's Restaurant. Bullwinkle's Restaurant was a chain started in 1982, and the animatronics were built by AVG and another company. And the characters in the show were Bullwinkle, Rocky, Dudley Do-Right, and some other characters, also Boris and Natasha. Which most of these guys, besides Underdog, Liam Bullfrog, Tutor Turtle, Chumley, and Tennessee Tuxedo were not used in the Bullwinkle cartoon show and were only seen in this version. And Bullwinkle's has a couple locations to this day in Upland, California, Wilsonville, Oregon, and Tequila, Washington, which still has the mini show that you can see to this day. America Sings. America Sings was a show based off of the USA, and the main character in the show was Sam the Eagle. And this replaced Disneyland's Carousel of Progress show, and instead they converted it into an America show, which, as you can see here, there are stages that rotate just like the new Rockefeller explosion. But here's a very sad event that happened in the early 1980s. That made this made this attraction have to close. So Deborah Stone, who was in her late teen years, unfortunately died on this attraction because she worked there, and she unfortunately got crushed in the walls of the ride, and it was a very sad and dark event for the Disney community. Rest in peace, Debbie Stone. I will miss you. The new Rockefeller explosion refers to an updated version of the Rockefeller called the Midgens, and apparently Billy Bob and Fats took some Ozempic because they're skinny now, and they had rotating show stages. Major Magics. Major Magics refers to the Major Magic and the Rock and Roll Rebellion show. On a center stage was Sergeant Pepperoni, Flash, Barbara String Band, and Rock the Croc. And this was a very beloved show. And the other characters were Major Magic, Violin, Ludwig von Drum, Yoko Oboe, named after Yoko Ono, and Nickelodeon, the piano, which I believe is a type of piano. Sam and Burley the bear, and a talking tree, and an owl hand that comes out of an outhouse. Major Magics unfortunately shut down in 2013, and they attempted the second time in 2020, but it shut down after a couple months in operation due to a certain pandemic. The Big Yummy, featuring food characters trying to win an award by their best musical performance. And fun fact, the leader of the show, him right there, actually could move around the stage on this rotating base, which is honestly really cool that he can rotate around and move around the stage, and they try to win the Big Yummy Award, which was a hot dog holding a knife and fork. And there was also an egg heckler. This show was built by Life Formations, seen at COSI from 2000 to 2004, and then Life Formations bought back Corncob Bob and Stickle Butter, and then they sent them to Jungle Jim's Market. And this was a very good looking show, but unfortunately shut down. And then Corncob Bob and Stickle Butter got sent to Jungle Jim's Market in Fairfield, Ohio. They're still there to this day. Captain Andy's Rivertown. Now we're on Tier 2. This is a show seen at Rivertown Restaurant, starring lots of characters. Captain Andy, Sparky the dog, Goober, Gus Gus, Happy and Homer, the Free Cats, Jubilation Tea Bullfrog, and Honeysuckle Ambrosia Hippopotame. And this was a very advanced and a well-built show built by a former Disney Imagineer, Bob Gurr. The Man and Dog Show. This show refers to the Man and Dog, seen at Gillian's Wonderland Pier, starring Bubba Bungas, Rocky the Panda, Henrietta Hatpin, Hank the Dog, and Antonio Fermagelli. And these guys were retrofitted by the Sally Corporation and were former Chuck E. Cheese characters. The Animal Cracker Show, starring Bob Wire and many of the other characters, such as Lester and Patty Pachyderm. And this was seen at a multitude of locations. The next Animal Cracker Show is built by an unknown company, starring Maxie Mouse and many other characters. And it's unknown who built this show. And this was seen at Huckleberry Junction in Michigan. Now they have Daniel and the Dixie Digger Show. The Circus World Jamboree, a sequel to the Circus Playhouse Band, starring Lucy Lioness, Lucky Lion, Peter Penguin, Barney Bear, Mighty Mac the Mouse, and Bodini and Hanky the Clown. And these characters were removed sometime in the 2010s or late 2000s. And these guys were built by Advanced Animations. The Great Texas Longhorn Review, seen at Six Flags Astroworld, starring a bunch of Texas-themed steers and cows and pigs. Also, Gabby the dog who would pop out of there. And this show was designed by Gary Goddard, and they changed up the show to the Great Texas Music Review. Changed by Gene Patrick from the Showtech Corporation, which I will go over later. And this was a very beloved theme park attraction, but shut down in 1990. And now, for the longest time, it was seen in a roller coaster graveyard at the theme park, but people took it out of there somehow, and now they're at this person's house, currently being restored. Dandy Bear, Kendall, Florida. Dandy Bear is a well-beloved chain, starring Dandy Bear and the Fun Day Band. And this is like a circus-themed show, kind of. And this is a very iconic Miami staple, but unfortunately it shut down in 2022, and they had this version built by VP Productions, and this one built by Kinetics. The Bear Country Jubilee, known as the ripoff of the Country Bear Jamboree, and the predecessor to the Hard Luck Bears. This show features a bear on the piano, Chet Fagans on guitar, Boom Boom Bosco, and Fingers Dan, and Pierre and Waldo, the Bear Brothers, and Beatrice, the bear. Mactonite, Mick Donald's former moon-headed mascot. This refers to a Mactonite built by the company Manatron, who did some other things for the fast food chain McDonald's. And they had some variants, such as this one, rock stage, and then the prototype starring Mactonite and the Rockin' Chickens. And one still exists at the world's largest McDonald's in Orlando, Florida. Bubba Bear and the Badland Band, starring a multitude of characters. This is a traveling band of sorts built by the Sally Corporation, and also sometimes featuring guest star Mark Twain. The Bullfrog Bayou, built by AVG. I believe this was built for Six Flags over Georgia. The Apeology Show, starring a bunch of talking monkeys. This show was built by Creative Presentations and has lots of monkey characters in it. The Pantones, starring Big Bear, Priscilla Purr, Major Moose, and Hurricane Hound. This was seen at the Celebration Station and also Mark's grocery store. Unfortunately, now they're removed, and they might be at a water park now, but it's unknown. Also Big Top Pizza too. The Farm Fresh 5, starring some food themed characters, lots of milk characters, and juice and egg characters, and also sticks of butters too. This is seen at the world's largest dairy store, which is Stu Leonard's. Sergeant Singer's Pizza Brigade, named after founder Craig Singer. This show was used at Sergeant Singer's Pizza, and the show is also built by Creative Presentations, and they sold the show to Japan and named it Sergeant Striper's Pizza Brigade. And it's also seen in a couple of other locations too. Rocky and the Ramblin' Rascals, seen at Enchanted Forest Water Safari in Old Forge, New York, starring Rocky the Rabbit, Henrietta the Bird, Bad Bonga the Monkey, Jacko the Donkey, and 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 Antonio on drums. And this show is a retrofit of a Munch's Make Believe band, and it's still there to this day. The Monster Mansion, seen at Six Flags over Georgia. This contained Missy Scarlet introducing you to this dark ride, and so many other monster characters, all built by AVG Productions. Mark's Fun Time Pizza Place. This is a former Chuck E. Cheese's that they took up 5 of them, and every single one has a different show there. And this place shut down around the late 90s, and apparently they had weddings there. And this was seen at, and this was owned by Mark's grocery store, which also bought the Pantones show. Pizza Showtime. Pizza Showtime is this very advanced pizzeria that has some animatronics in it. It's unknown who they were built by, but apparently they're worth $1 million apparently, which is crazy. And also, plus they were more advanced than the Disney characters back in the day, which is honestly really crazy. But unfortunately, this place shut down for unknown reasons, and got sold to a company in Sydney. Jeffro P. Hogg. Jeffro P. Hogg refers to this pig character on a guitar, built by the Sally Corporation, and he is a traveling character. The Electric Mice Orchestra, starring Stevie Fingers on the piano, Boots Cassidy on guitar, Baby Sticks on the drums, Jelly Roll Jackson on the piano, Digger Odell on the saxophone, Baby Mice, and Miss Tutu. And this show is built by Advanced Animations. Was seen at Razzmatazz. And there was this other guest star named B.J. McCouble, which he is an Elvis impersonator dog. Banjo Billy's Layer Free. This is a place founded in Houston, Texas, repurposing Chuck E. Cheese characters. And this place is very beloved in the Houston area, but unfortunately it shut down around 1995, and opened in 1993. People hated when this place shut down, and apparently they reused a Pluto costume for the Banjo Billy walk around head. The Magical Monkey Show, the first ever German animatronic show seen in Germany, built in 1976 for Phantasialand, and is a Country Bear Jamboree knockoff, which, being honest, they kind of look freaky in some of these pictures. Woody Woodchucks, built by the McClondy Corporation. These guys were seen at the Canadian Entertainment Center, Woody Woodchucks. And I don't know what these other characters' names are, but this guy is named Woody Woodchuck, the mascot of the place. The Mystery Funhouse Whiz Bangs, starring Wizard. What type of name is that? Craven, Morgana, Wizzy, and Prince the Frog. And this was a very beloved show, at the point where people just came to the Mystery Funhouse just to see them. And Wizzy is still on display at the Mystery Funhouse experience, connected to Chuck's Arcade in Orlando, Florida. Now, this was a very well-built show, and they had more like plasticky faces for Craven, Wizard, and Morgana. Mick Jagger and the Sly Cats. Well, we don't. I forgot to put a picture in here, but this is the only one that I have, so go search it up. And this show is built by VP Productions. The Rockin' Rascals, starring Major Moose, Priscilla Purr, Calvin the Cat, and Hurricane Hound. And these are the same character names, except for Calvin the Cat. Were also used at a celebration station. Bubba Bear and the Happy Holiday Bears, built by VP Productions and the Showtech Corporations. This is a traveling show seen at malls, entertainment centers, Stu Leonard's, and much more. And the little airplane band. This was at Splendid China in Florida, and this was built by the Sally Corporation. And it sucks that the show got removed because it looks like a really nice show based off of China. And this was a tourist attraction that unfortunately shut down because it was like a few miles away from a Disney World. The Hot Air Fantasy, built by Advanced Animations. This was seen at a aquarium / water park, and this was an interactive show of animals. And here's something really sad though: the show is animal cruelty because the animals apparently get scared of these guys, and this place shut down in 2024. But there are still abandoned animals in there to this day. Uncle Boomer and the Happy Time Music Machine. Not much is known about this show, except I believe it might have been built by VP, but yet maybe advanced at the same time. The Family Album, built by, I forgot the name of the company, and this was this interactive show starring these really weird looking human characters, which they're really, really creepy. And this was an interactive show seen at some Chuck E. Cheese's in 1984. This show's just really weird. Billy Joel and the Bluegrass Bears, Tier 4. This was barely unused and was built by the Sally Corporation, which here are these bears, which they're kind of repurposed characters from Bubba Bear and the Badland Band, I think, because I think this guy used to be Bubba right here. I think this might have been like the one on the base, and then this guy was the raccoon. The Pizza Planet. No, not the Disney one. The Pizza Planet was 1984, starring Pepperoni and a couple other really creepy characters. Dimes and Critters. This refers to a really obscure show seen at Critter Macoon, which apparently this person burned down the whole place for arson, because it was close by to a Chuck E. Cheese's, and Chuck E. Cheese was getting much more business than Critter Macoon. The St. Louis Review, built by Advanced Animations. It's unknown where the show was installed, but it's a really nice looking show. Gigglebees, a place in South Dakota. This was a very long-lived entertainment center where the animatronic character Wilbur could deliver your food, which is almost like a really cool concept. And they also had a couple other characters too. Is that Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? The Gaslight Jamboree, featuring Wolfman, Friendly Freddy, and Fats Geronimo. This was seen at a Gaslight Village theme park in Gossel, Virginia. The Confederate Critter Show. This show is very outdated. Starring characters such as Major Mosby Greyhound, Sir General Fox, and Friendly Freddy, which, yeah, this show isn't that great. Zach Periwinkle is later repurposed into the Man and Dog Show. This was seen in the 1980s, and this is a repurposed Chuck E. Cheese show. The Cavalcade of Stars, built by the Showtech Corporation, starring animal character celebrities, and oh my goodness, that doesn't even look like Dolly Parton. But the characters are kind of interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about this show, but very weird. The Cyber Jazz Trio, built by the Showtech Corporation, starring these robot characters. And this was seen at Shady's, but it got removed and it got sent to Six Flags over Texas, which it failed horribly and lasted for a month. Bubba Bear and Ricochet Raccoon. This is at the world's largest knife store, and these guys look super duper scary. Like they kill animals and put their skin onto these guys. Really weird looking. Fuzzy Wuzzy Wizard Wonderland. Based off of Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. This is a show starring Fuzzy Wuzzy, I'm a dragon, I'm a Muppet Man playing the piano, and this weird cat thing. And this place didn't last for very long and was a Chuck E. Cheese's knockoff. Punchy's Hawaiian Punch Band. This isn't really a show, but it's a built display based off of Hawaiian Punch, and was seen at SeaWorld, San Diego, and Orlando, and the 1970s. Little Caesars Pizza. Little Caesars is well known for their iconic pizza and mascot, Little Caesar, and for Caesarland, aka another Chuck E. Cheese knockoff. They creative presentations built this show for Caesarland, starring Little Caesar, a fox, and a koala, which this show is pretty cool. Captain Carnival, built by the same people who made the Family album. This was seen at Captain Carnival's pizza place. The Care Bears Care-a-Lot Castle Show, built by Sally Corporation, starring Funshine Bear, Cheer Bear, Tender Heart Bear, Grumpy Bear, Goodnight Bear, and Friend Bear. Seen in Indonesia and America. Reginald J. Flute Snoot. Built for the EEE show, which this guy can actually breathe fire. Not real fire, but like a machine effect, basically. Now he is abandoned in the creative engineering warehouse. Tier 5. The Wildcats, built by the McClondy Corporation, and it's a group of singing cats. Seen at Peter Piper Pizza. The Chirpy Band, built by Robot Country USA, starring Chirpy, Grape Juice, Rusty, and Reggie, and they're singing monster characters, pretty cool characters, and they're like Muppet monsters. Mama and the Oompas, based off of the band Mama and the Papas, and instead of humans, they are bears, except for her, which she's still a human. Built by the Sally Corporation, and is seen at Rotusu Resort in Japan. M&M's. Oh, the lovable candy M&Ms, starring red and yellow, and these guys were built by the Sally Corporation, and were seen at the M&M's World Store in New York City. Elsie the cow, a animatronic based off of the iconic cartoon and comic strip character built by the Sally Corporation. Zachary and the Other Singers, starring these Chuck E. Cheese retrofit characters. It's unknown who these guys were built by. The Nairobi Trio, seen at Jungle Jim's Market in Ohio, starring Fats, who turned into a turtle, Chucky, who turned into a crab, and then Billy Bob, who turned into a seagull. And this show is really weird. The Kicker Show, also known as the Frog Show, starring these frog characters. It's a scene at Dunrell Park in Germany, or was, and now these guys are repurposed characters. And there's the leader of the show, and then the Kickerettes, aka the Frogettes, J-Fats, made by Creative Engineering, and Cabby Sam, a retrofit of Fats, used for J-Fats' Pizza, which was gonna be a pizza place, but it never happened. The Rolling Gnomes, who used Pizza Showtime characters in their show, and this show is really cool. And got sold to a company in Sydney, and repurposed Bert Newhound from the show, and the bear who played the fiddle. Also had Abraham Lincoln there, which random, but okay. And these bird hecklers. This show is built by the people who made Pizza Showtime and Advanced Animations. Layer 6, Pizza Productions. This refers to a pizza restaurant built by Ken Forsey, who made Teddy Ruxpin, which you know what that is, I hope. And there's a beaver on the piano, on top of the piano, and then there's this armadillo playing the piano. This a bird and a raccoon on the other stage. Sunny Tunes, a retrofit of Sammy Sands from Gadgets, and he still exists today. So anyways, guys, peace out.